Good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Carolyn, your host. Welcome to our weekly mini session. As you know, each week we deliver a bite-sized workshop on hot topics. These workshops are live on our main Facebook page, as well as our certified teachers group, but we also have them recorded so you can reference all of the previous topics on the AcroDance Resource Center. If you have any questions while we're live, please put them in the comments section and we'll do our best to address those at the end of our presentation. Either way, be sure to let us know where you're watching from in the comment section below, and don't forget to give your home studio a shout out as well. Our community means so much to us, and when we get to connect, it is an extra added bonus. So we love to hear from you. Today's topic is intermediate partnering, and we are thrilled to have special guest teacher Trish Thompson-Creamer with us. Trisha's background is amazing. She is originally started in competitive artistic gymnastics, and with a well-established reputation in that field, she also built a reputation in dance with a focus on acrobatics. Bringing together her passions, Trisha's Rhythm Plus Dance Company, as we see her now, is celebrating 29 years in Stony Creek, Ontario. Now, Trish is nationally recognized as a teacher, choreographer, adjudicator, and achieving much recognition and acclaim in the dance community. And that's why we're extra thrilled to have her here today. Trish is a member of the Acrobatic Arts faculty, where she's involved in the discussion of syllabus, running modules, traveling across North America to teach acro workshops, and joining us here live as part of our weekly mini. Trish, welcome. You can unmute. There you go. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We're thrilled to have you. If I haven't said that enough, I'm amazed and overwhelmed by your bio. And I am thrilled to have you here all the way from Stony Creek, Ontario, Canada. How are things?
Pretty good. It's a little chilly out here today, but I think we'll be okay. We're gonna warm up soon.
That's exciting. Yeah. What are you showing us today? Intermediate partnering.
We're going to do some intermediate partnering. We're going to kind of start at the basic level and progress it up to an intermediate. So it kind of breaks the skill down so that you can work with your students, and hopefully you can even take it to the advanced level. But we're not going to get into too many advanced lifts today. So we're just going to keep it more in that basic intermediate level. Okay. Great. So well, I like at this time. Yep.
I'll get out of the way and let you take the stage.
Awesome. So I'd like to introduce you some of my demonstrators for today. So I have Abby. This is Abby and Izzy. Now these guys are twins, so I often do get their names mixed up a little bit, but it's hard to identify them too when they have a mask on. But this is Abby and this is Izzy. Next up we have Ophelia, and then we have Luca. Okay, so we're going to give you guys some lifts that hopefully you can take back and break down into your classes. Some of them will be lifts that I'm sure you've seen in recital pieces or competition pieces, and I'm sure some of them are lifts that you have already been working on. So let's get started, and we're going to start off with Ophelia and Luca. Okay, so we're going to just start off with a basic diamond lift. Some people like to refer to this as the triangle lift. Actually, if you guys can just move down a little bit, that would be great. Then we can get a better footage of you there. Okay, so we're going to just start off with a basic diamond lift. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. So Ophelia is just going to step a little bit closer into Luca. Luca's going to place his hands above Ophelia's knees. Ophelia is going to place her hands on Luca's knees, press down, keeping her arms nice and tight. She's going to bring her toes to head, execute that, pull your shoulders back just a little bit more. There you go, and extend your legs and come on down. Okay, so that's just kind of where your basic lift is. What I like to do is always try to exit the lift different than the way you enter it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back up into that lift. Okay, and we're going to exit through a front walkover. So what's going to happen is Ophelia is going to do her toes to head. She's going to come down. She's going to bend her arms so that she still has the support from Luca's knees, which stay nice and tight. And she just exits through a front walkover just to give it a different look. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually incorporate 3 people into this lift. Okay, so we're going to take Abby here. And Ophelia is going to go into it the same way as she has. All right, I'm just going to move a little bit off to the side here. Here we go. And Abby's going to come into this. She's going to place her hands on Ophelia's wrists. Ophelia is going to bring herself up. She's going to kick herself all the way up and over, and Abby's just going to help execute that, just so that it has the same feel as the front walkover, but you are incorporating 3 people. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to exit it into what we call a reverse Superman. Okay, so now we're just going to switch Abby out for Izzy. And we're going to start this kind of the same way. So Ophelia is going to come back up into her lift on Luca. Okay, and then Izzy's going to roll down to the floor. She's going to place her shoulders as close to Luca's feet as possible. And Ophelia is going to kick herself over. She can straddle up, press herself up to straddle. You can see how Izzy has placed her hands on Ophelia's shoulders, keeping her arms nice and straight. Ophelia then arches over, releases her hands. You can see how Izzy's feet are supporting Ophelia's hands. And there we have what we call a reverse Superman. Okay, so you guys can come down. And now you can take this and you can think to yourself, what can we give our first base here, just so that they're not lying there and waiting for this to be executed. So we're going to have Luca straddle up through to a forearm stand, place his hands into Ophelia's legs, and just to create a different shape, okay? Just so that it has more of a rolling effect with this lift. So Ophelia is going to go up. We're going to do the exact same entrance as we did before. She's going to come. You can do that with 2 feet. You can do that with 1 foot. You can change the look of that however you want. She's going to come up into this position here. She's going to go back into that reversed Superman. Luca's going to pull himself away. He's going to press himself up into a forearm stand, placing his feet in Ophelia's hands. And that just gives you a completely different shape and a different ending to that. All right, good. So it's just growing on that basic idea that you have. We started off with that simple diamond lift, and then it just evolves into what you can do with your intermediate students. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the assisted roll. Okay, so this is going to involve Ophelia and Luca. This is a real basic lift, but it kind of has like a flair to it. There's something about it that I really do, like. Oh, I think you're the other way there, Luca. There you go. Yep. And so you can take this, and really speed and trust is the factor that you want your students to have in this. But we're going to kind of do it at a moderate speed just to kind of break it down for you so that we can see what the skill is. So Ophelia is going to place her hands into Luca. She's going to kind of jump up, tuck her head in, and she's going to place her hips on Luca's shins and just step out. That's it. And like I said, speed would really give it a little bit more flair. So can you guys try to do that a little bit faster? Okay. And here we go. We just jump up, push, and around. You got it. Nicely done. Okay, so now we're going to take that. We're going to have the twins come out. We're going to have Abby and Izzy come out. And they're going to do the exact same thing. But instead of placing the hips on to the shins, we're actually going to be placing our hips onto our partner's feet, just to give it a little bit more height and to give it a little bit of a different texture. Okay, so here we go. And up and over. That's it. Good. And then if you're asking yourself or wondering, like, what could we do out of there? You can actually take the exit of that and you can just combine it into a tumbling pass. So can you just do a cartwheel back handspring and walk out of that? All right. So here we'll just incorporate that and I'll get out of the way here. So we're going to come through, whoops, and around and back. That's it. Okay. So just watch this, the transition coming out of that. I think you guys were a little bit short on that exit. Okay. Awesome. So now we're going to go into our basic Superman hold. Okay, so this is going to also involve Abby and Izzy. This is, again, a lift that I'm sure you see, you work with your students in class and that you see, on your recital stages or competition stage. Just basically, we're going to go press up to our Superman hold. Before you guys go into that, one of the most important things that you want to remember is our base here. You want to make sure that our feet are in a turnout position. in that V shape to follow the shape of the pelvis. If you have your feet in this parallel shape, the toes are going to jab into the stomach, which isn't really comfortable for anyone, right? So we're going to keep our feet in that nice turnout position, working along the shape of the pelvis, and we're just going to grab hands. We're going to come up into a nice Superman lift, stretch your arms, place it down. Good, lift, lift, lift. Good, and come on down. Good. All right, so again, just going back to what I said before, always trying to exit differently than you enter. So we're going to take this basic Superman and we're going to just pass it through and exit through a front walkover. All right, so here we go. Up. Good. We're going to slide our hands down to our partner. Our base is going to grab onto our shoulders. Okay, always here into the collarbone. Our hands provide that support so that the hips can pass over the shoulders safely. All right, now we're going to take this. I'm going to use Ophelia and Luca. And we're going to do the same lift that the twins just did. But this time what we want to do is we want to take off of 2 feet. And we want the hands to make contact after that fact. So when you saw the twins do it, you actually saw them place the hands together and then they lifted the legs off the ground. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of do a little bit of a jump into that. And what we want to do is we want to kind of like just pass through that Superman position and we want to exit through a front walkover. So here we go, Ophelia and Luca. She's going to go up and over. That's it, okay? And you can make that fast, and that's a nice dynamic punch in choreography when you get your dancers to really be able to trust themselves. So what we're gonna do now is instead of grabbing the arms, we're gonna do the same thing, and Ophelia's just gonna keep her arms out into second position. Again, this is something that takes a little bit of trust. So Ophelia and Luca are kind of new working together, so we're still working on building the trust up. But Ophelia is going to find that in her, and she's going to try to keep her arms out to the side, and we're going to do the same thing with a little bit more speed and a little bit more punch, having her arms stay out to the side so it looks more of like a fall, okay? So here we go, and we go out, out, and over. Let's try that one more time. I must have talked that up too much. Here we go. Ready? And out and over. There you go. So it just gives it a different feel. It's the same thing, but it just eliminates the touching of the arms with each other. Okay, so now we are going to move into a chest stand on our backs. Okay, so the twins are going to come out. And what they're going to do is they're going to go into a lunge position, opposite legs, deep lunge, keeping their foot kind of relatively center. They're going to push up through their back to provide a nice flat surface. And Ophelia is just going to come through. She's going to wrap her arms around the outside of their legs, and she's just going to go into a nice chest balance. So here we go. And we're going to go up and hold that position, and then the twins can lift their head up just to create a nice picture there. Good. And you can exit out of that. Great. Okay, now I'm going to have you guys turn to the side. And now we're going to do the same thing, but this time, instead of being on our chest, we're actually going to do it on a forearm position. So Ophelia is going to place her hands on the center part of the twins' back, and her hands are going to be slightly over the top of their shoulders, okay? So we're just going to go back down into this base position, and Ophelia is just going to bring herself up and over into a forearm stand. Here we go. Up and over. Great. All right, and she can exit out of that. Awesome. So then again, you know what, just to give it a different bit of a flair, she could just exit out of that forward, and then that can also become a continuous movement too. So can you do that again and have that come out like a front walkover? That's it, good, and come on out. That's it. Okay, so there is a bit of a height difference there too. So you can always be creative with the way that they make contact with the floor, just to kind of eliminate a little bit of that jumping there. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to now incorporate a third person into this. Okay. And what we're going to do is Ophelia is going to go up into that forearm stand. Luca's going to come around. He's going to put her legs underneath his arms, provide some resistance so that Ophelia can come up, and she's going to exit or finish that in an arabesque position, okay? So here we go. So she's gonna go back up into this forearm balance. Yep, and we're gonna incorporate Luca. He's gonna come around and he's gonna just bring his arms over her legs. He's gonna provide that resistance. She's gonna come up and she's gonna just swing that leg all the way up and through into an arabesque. All right, so now let's take that and think about where can we go with that. So let's take that now and have Ophelia even follow through with that even more. And she's gonna actually go over top of Luca's shoulders onto his thigh, and he's gonna support her in a handstand. All right, so let's see what that looks like. You got it. He's gonna come through. He's gonna bring his arms around. Give her that support. She's gonna pull herself up all the way through that arabesque. And now she's gonna continue the motion over top into that picture. Nice. So it's kind of awkward though when I do watch that, how these guys are kind of stuck on that knee stand. So let's think about how we can incorporate them into this, okay? So that it's continuing. These lifts are more of a revolving transition in your choreography. So I'm gonna have them kind of come down into the floor and then we'll just front walk over so that as Ophelia exits that handstand, the twins are actually mirroring her image by doing a front walkover. So let's put that together. All right, and then you know what, Luca, what we'll do is we'll have you continue it and finish it off if you can come around and do a front aerial over Ophelia. All right, so here we go. Let's put this all together. This is like a little mini routine. So here we go. So we have Ophelia going up into this forearm stand. Luca comes up. He's gonna bring her around all the way up. You got it. Nice, that's it. Come through, hold it. There you go. And let's come out of it like a front walkover. And then we'll come around and Luca will just exit through front aerial. There, great. Nice job. All right, guys. Now we have just one more lift for you because this is just a mini little session that we have for you today. So we are going to take this into the handstand on the knees. All right, so again, this is something that you've seen before. If you guys could just move down slightly this way. Yep, even a little bit more. There we go, perfect. All right, so this is just handstand on the knees. All right, our partner sitting on the floor is going to just kind of slightly bring their head to the side so that they're not in line with our dancer going over top, because it would be painful on your neck to have somebody kind of doing a handstand over top of your head. So Luca's going to turn his head to the side. He's going to keep his hands here, ready to grab onto Ophelia's hips to be able to lift her up and assist her into a nice handstand hold. Okay, so you can come out of that. Good. And then we're going to think, let's come out of it differently than we go into it. So what's going to happen is Luca's going to stretch his legs slowly and Ophelia is going to exit through a front walkover. And he just slowly brings his legs down and over. There you go. Okay. All right. So now we're going to think, you know, how can we make this even something different than that? So we are now going to incorporate 3 people. Okay. All right. Yep. So this is Abby. She's going to bring her, she's going to face Luca and she's going to lay on her back. All right. So she's going to go down onto the floor and we're going to go into this exact same way that we just did. So Ophelia is going to go up into that handstand, right? Now, keeping in mind the feet turning out, Luca is going to help control Ophelia over through an arch position. And Abby grabs onto Ophelia's legs, making sure that her arms are kind of staying over top of her shoulders. As a base, you always want to make sure that your arms, your wrists are always stacked over top of your shoulders and that the backs of your legs are always in line with your hips, okay? This is the most secure position that you want your base to be in. All right, so you just saw how the transition came from one person to the other and we exit up there. I must have left you guys in that position a little bit too long. All right. All right, now we're gonna take this and we're gonna make it a little bit different. Okay, so we're gonna actually repeat this again, but I always think to myself, After the first dancer releases the flyer to the second dancer, what do they do? So let's think about something that they can do. So let's kind of go back to where we had Luca, where he went up into that forearm stand at the diamond lift. Let's take him up to a handstand this time. And Ophelia, if you can grab his legs and place them on her hips, and then to release the arms, and we'll just kind of see the shape that we can create this way, okay? So we're gonna go into this the same way. So again, this is your basic lift, and now you're incorporating that third person, which is gonna make it kind of that beginner intermediate, right? And then we're going to bring Luca up into that handstand. You got it, there you go. And place those hips, there you go, and take your arms off. There, and you've just created a really nice shape there with all three dancers. Great. Okay, and then now our last and final lift for you today, let's think about how we can incorporate 4 people, okay? So we're gonna bring Izzy out. And I feel like you guys just maybe move a little bit this way. That's perfect, awesome. Okay, so let's take this lift that we started with 2 people, and then we incorporated 3 people, and now we're gonna incorporate 4 people. So, if I could fit more kids in the screen, I could incorporate 5 or 6, but we just kind of left it with 4 for today. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off the same way as we did before with our basic lift all the way up, okay, into that handstand on the knee. We're going to exit through into the Superman position. Luca helps to switch Ophelia's shoulders over, where Izzy now grabs onto her hands and they execute it into a nice Superman lift. And you guys could just come on down. Okay, so to think about how we can kind of finish that off, we'll just have Abby and Luca shoulder roll backwards, and you can come out of it like a front walkover, just to kind of give it some sort of conclusion to this. All right. So we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to go up into this handstand position. You got it. We're going to come over and watch the transition of how Luca kind of guides her over. You got it. She executes that. And here we go. And over into her shoulders and over. And we finish there. You got it. Okay. So for us, it's really just kind of taking a basic lift and kind of just building on it. It's kind of like Lego, you get like one piece and you stack another one and you keep going and going until you kind of get like some sort of rolling transition that will help connect your dancers and, I don't know, kind of give a different flair to whatever piece that you're working on. And that's all we have for you today.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Trish. I'm just going to check in the feed here while we're just transitioning a bit here, and I'm going to read any comments or questions. So if you just hold tight.
Yeah, for sure.
So wonderful. People were saying that Charlene says that she has more trouble with 3 people, and there's so much inspiration here. So I think we could all agree on that. Awesome job. Thank you so much. Now we have a question, and so I'm going to have to jog your experience here, only because it's hard to explain what people saw in typing and translate that to what the question is. But Heather asks, okay, you did a 3-partner stunt. She would wrap her arms around the 2 bases into more like a shoulder stand. And I guess the question is, and maybe this will help, in that position for that stunt, can you show the cartwheel transition into it? Does that help you in any way? So it's a 3-partner stunt. Nope. She would wrap her arms around the 2 bases into more like a shoulder stand.
Did we do that lift today?
I think so. She was asking about a specific lift. Okay. Position, but maybe it's too hard.
Is it this, the lunge one? And instead of going forward, you would go sideways?
They were in a lunge.
Okay, do you want to try that?
And maybe Heather, while you're watching, you could let us know if we're on the right track here.
That was the chest stand that we showed. So it wasn't a shoulder stand, it was a chest stand.
Okay, so then the question was, This is live, so just give me a second.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
I'm just trying to find, the question was, there's a lot of comments. People are really impressed. The question is, I'm getting there.
That's okay.
In that position for that stunt, can you show the cartwheel transition into it? Does that exist?
If we made it a shoulder stand, possibly.
Okay.
Can you do it that way? If you put your arm, you'd have to, I don't know where your arm would go though. Try it. Or you'd have to go through them that way. Yeah, that way. Now turn yourself sideways. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work.
Okay. Well, we tried. It's a bit of, we get lost in translation between what people can type and explain, because there's so amazing, everything that you presented. And
you know what, if she wants to reach out to you, and
Yeah.
then maybe if I could read it or I could dissect it, then we can work on it. I can send a video and then maybe we can help her out.
Sure. And as everybody knows, if you're watching, this does replay on several different places we talked about before, but it does live here on our Facebook page as well, so people can go back and watch as well. But certainly if people have questions, they're always welcome to reach out. Somebody said, not a skill question, but the studio is beautiful. I think we all agree. Is that a custom mat? But maybe this is something that you could answer afterwards. It's just about the mat.
This is just like well, I've had this mat for 30 years. It's just a rollout mat. It's vinyl. It's more like a wrestling mat. Yeah.
That's the question. All right. Awesome. There we go. So I think that's it. Does anybody have any more questions? Now's your time. You've got Trish right in front of you with 4 amazing artists and athletes. I guess that's it. Thank you so much to Trish, and to Abby, Izzy, Ophelia, Luca. Thank you, teachers, for joining us for this weekly mini. You can learn more about acrobatic arts and our programs at acrobatic.arts.com. Be sure to join us next week for our session on costuming with special guest Wendy Holmquist. Thank you so much, and we'll see you then. Bye.